this is here and welcome to another video. Today we are reading a couple more chapters of Hermitcraft Genesis. We'll start with chapter 4 and see how it goes from there. The background is unfortunate. I was editing last video, chapters 2 and 3, and somebody decided to come in and start griefing. I didn't realize it. They must have gotten kicked out at some point. I don't know if they've got anywhere else, but I decided I would just chill and just break it down and show you guys. Because I didn't want to just spend an hour just destroying it just so I can record a video. I'm just gonna finish breaking it down off camera and then just continue with whatever chapter we're on, but if you guys do like what you're seeing, be sure to like the video and consider subscribing if you haven't already. But of course, so you know when the next one comes out, if you actually have enjoyed it. And I do hope people do actually enjoy this because I'm recording these episodes a little bit in advance. So, yeah. Not too much in advance, just a little bit, like a couple weeks in advance. Let's get started, shall we? Chapter 4. Early morning sunlight poured into Jelly's room. Grian sat on a velvet red armchair, leaning back with Jelly curled up on his lap. Grian stroked the gray and white cat's head, hearing her purr in contentment. Around him, there were platforms for Jelly to jump on, toys for her to play with, and a comfy bed for her to sleep in. The room was cheery with color as sunlight danced through the curtains, bouncing off the ceiling and walls like dazzling stars. Across from him was a portrait of Scar and Jelly hanging on the wall that one of the girls had painted. A smug smirk on his friend's face as he held Jelly close, the feline looking a little grumpy about the entire situation. Jelly grumbled something incoherent, fidgeting in the hermit's lap. Grian looked down. In or on the hermit's lap? Good grammar. Grian looked down at the feline, relieved to see she was doing fine. Any injuries resulting from the ambush were long gone. She was back to her old self, always hungry, both for food and attention. We'll see him soon. Don't worry, Grian whispered to her gently. I miss him too. Grian? A voice called from the closed door, a knock following a moment later. We heard you were here. Can we come in? Yeah, go right ahead. Grian looked up at the door as the door opened. Kate, Eliza, and Haley stepped into the room. Anything I missed? Have Lehman and Pulse gone yet? Yeah, they left just before dawn. Kate yawned, stretching her dark green eyes looking a tad drowsy as if she was still waking up. Didn't say where they were going or why, though. They're trying to find Scar. Grian bit his bottom lip, stroking Jelly down her spine as the cat purred loudly. Impulse thinks Stabby can help, so they went to see him. What about the secret project for Rose? Eliza frowned, tilting her head curiously. I think it might be connected, Grian shrugged. Something about Kid Bolt wanting to lure Stampy into a trap. He just doesn't stop, does he? Haley grumbled, shaking her head. Do you think the room's cozy enough? It's perfect. Even Jelly loves it. Grian chuckled, scratching the feline behind the ear. Kate giggled. The painting's a cute touch. We worked on it together. Kate grinned, her eyes lighting up with excitement. We wanted to make something for Scar that embodied everything about him. I'd say you captured it well, Grian encouraged, nodding over at the painting. Scar was sitting in his wheelchair, straight and tall. His face scarred from when Gerald had burned him months ago. His vibrant green eyes flashed with mischievous amusement, matching Jelly's green eyes. A lump formed in his throat. Scar gets back. Show him. Yes, Kate beamed happily. We've been working on our interior designs thanks to Gem, Pearl, and Beat-Ups. We want to do more rooms as well. I'm sure the girls will be up for the idea if you ask. Grian encouraged. Jelly's head pressed against his hand as she continued purring. Is Beat-Ups doing better? He looks better, Haley said. He should be awake soon. The healing factor did wonders to help. He's very lucky to be alive right now. Grian swallowed, closing his eyes as he took a deep breath, trying to keep the image of Beat-Ups lying limply in a pool of his blood on the newly placed hardwood floor, multiple cuts and gashes soaking its white, long-sleeved shirt. Try not to imagine it yourself. You can't. I never want something like that to happen again. To anyone, Grian admitted weakly. Jelly stretched as she stood before jumping off his lap. His words seemed to catch in his throat as he added, We almost lost him. It won't happen again, Eliza said defiantly. So long as the three of us are here, we're unstoppable. Grian giggled. What, are you the Three Musketeers or something? Something like that. Eliza smirked, crossing the room to stand by the armchair. But Liam made us promise not to leave you alone for a second. Not even to let you run off. Me? Run off and possibly get myself killed? She said. If something goes wrong, I'll tell someone before I run off. Grian! Kit asked. It's something I promised Kaden I'd do. Grian lowered his head solemnly. Kate put a hand on the hermit's shoulder. I'm sorry about Kaden. I didn't know him for as long as you did, but he was dedicated. I admired that. I do too, Haley stated with a matter-of-fact nod. He put others' well-being before his own. He was one of the good ones. Grian sighed. I can't lose another friend again. Liam will get Scar back, Haley said confidently. He's done plenty of rescue missions before. I would know. I've been in some. You have? Grian looked up at her, surprised. Sometimes there were animals stuck in places that were a bit precarious. Haley smirked. Or kids who were abducted from school grounds by well-meaning family members. Wait, really? Kate's eyes widened. People did that? All the time. Haley shook her head, crossing her arms. Whenever there was a disagreement or miscommunication, sometimes it put the child in danger. Mr. A caught word of it. He liked recruiting young children. Grian shuddered, remembering how Isaac had been forced to join Mr. A's side after threats and the deaths of his family members and friends. The boy helped Grian and Scar escape from Mr. A and his men, capturing Mr. A and Gerald in the process. Isaac was now Beat-Up's protector and was recovering from a few injuries that he'd received during the ambush. He tried to recruit you, if I remember right, Haley. Haley nodded. He captured me and locked me in his cell, demanding I follow him after I watched him destroy everything and everyone I knew. Sympathy flashed on Eliza's face. I suppose many of us know what that's like. Sadly, Haley agreed. There are hundreds of kids out there, being forced to follow orders, having nowhere else to go. Fortunately, Rose found me and introduced me to Lizzie, Stacy, and Liam. She pretty much saved my life. She saved a lot of lives. Grian nodded. She saved my fellow hermits twice. Because you warned her, Kate pointed out. Both times. Grian nodded. Liam told me I could trust her. At the time, I didn't have much of a choice. It's just a bummer Campbell refuses to see it that way, Eliza said. She's a literal hero. Grian smiled. You are heroes too, you know. Yeah? Kate walked over to the window, readjusting the curtain. We did all of this for one person, Grian said, gesturing to the room. You've been training hard for the inevitable occasion when we need you. He looked over at Eliza. You slowed our enemies down enough to stop them from hurting us. But Eliza hesitated, trailing off as she met the hermit's gaze. You're our friend. We have each other's backs. Grian lifted his chin, rising to his feet. In a way, you're part of our family. Tears filled Eliza's eyes. You sure? Of course he is, Haley insisted, giving the young girl a bear hug. We've all done parts to save lives. I'm a healer and a fighter. You and Kate are great at combat, too. You'll make amazing protectors one day. She looked over at Kate. If that's what you choose, of course. I want to help. Kate bounded over to the other girls, grabbing Grian by the arm on her way and pulling him over. I don't care if my dad doesn't like the idea of a 13-year-old putting her life on the line to protect her friends. You need me. Grian giggled, wrapping an arm around the girl and giving her a quick side hug. You know your dad is only worried about you. And he helped the enemy in the past. She narrowed her eyes, giving the Hermit a little giggle. It's a long story. Sure it is. Grian nodded, pulling away. What exactly did I miss? Rose did some background checks to decide what was best for Kate, Haley said calmly. She found records about her father's previous company was insured by Mr. A. He got a scholarship deal for Mr. A to send his children to a private school where they would receive a great education. I don't think I need to give you details. But Mr. A was trying to recruit Kate before Campbell took over. What? Grian's eyes grew wide with alarm, looking over at the girl. She's only 13! Julius was 9 when he started, Kate reminded the Hermit. You never had a choice of where to go when Clara disappeared. So Stephen took custody of him and turned him into an assassin. Grian closed his eyes, shaking his head. He was trying his best not to imagine Caitlin Kimberly in Mr. A's uniform, wearing the black mask of an assassin. He shuddered as he opened his eyes again. How does Rose get all this information? A lot of help, Haley smirked, putting a hand on the doorframe. She has ways of getting information, which was why she hired Julius to help her find out about the mysterious second group, which explains where the assassins went. Grian groaned, putting a hand on his face. How did we get here? I have no idea, Eliza admitted sheepishly. The last few months have been a wild ride. Do you want to help us with the next room? If Jim and Pearl are okay with it, of course, Kate asked, her eyes flashing with enthusiasm. I don't think they'll have a problem with it, Grian mused, smile appearing. Maybe we can have a little fun together. How does a harmless prank sound? The girls giggled, agreeing to the idea as the four of them left the room, leaving Jelly alone as Grian closed the door behind him. Things were starting to look up for them. Grian was grateful for the chance to hang out with the girls. Soon, Scar would be with them, laughing and enjoying the moment. She always did. Grian couldn't wait. Chapter 5. We shall continue. 'Cause why not? Pain coursed through his body, blinking through the dimly lit room he was in. Where am I? Grian trembled, sitting up. Why does it hurt so much? Grian looked up at the sound of footsteps. They were heavy and muffled. Grian's eyes adjusted to the dimly lit room. It was a small room, with a cot in the center, with a figure strapped inside. On top is probably the right word for it. Grian crawled closer, finding the space he was imprisoned in much smaller than he realized, made of glass. The shadowed figure approached the restrained individual, his eyes widened. He recognized the person strapped to the cot. Scar! Grian rushed to the edge of the glass, pressing himself against the clear wall. Scar blinked up at the shadowed figure looming over him, his green eyes full of uncertainty and fear. The man gestured his head toward Grian, where Grian was imprisoned. Have a look. Scar, help me! Grian cried when the Scar blinked in confusion at the man. Finally, the Hermit turned his head, meeting his gaze, pain pulsating through Grian's body. Scar's eyes grew wide at seeing Grian. No! Another voice pleaded, and Grian's heart skipped a beat, seeing Scar's eyes move toward the sound. Impulse! Scar shouted, his cry muffled by the glass, as Grian started to pound on the barrier, calling out to his friend, trying to get him to hear him. The shadow of the man seemed to grow in size as the man shook his head. You can't save them. Scar's head snapped back from where Impulse was imprisoned, glaring at the man. Their fates have been sealed. So has yours. You're wrong, Scar whispered, as the man's shadow seemed to grow larger and larger, obscuring Grian's view of his friend. A spark of Scar's fear washed over him as Grian pounded on the glass harder. Scar! Grian screamed as his friend consumed by the shadow, pain piercing through his body like a burning inferno. No one can help you, the man said. They don't know where you are. Even if they did, they would only lead to their doom. No! Grian shouted as the whisper echoed through the room. No one can help you. Grian shook his head, the darkness starting to take hold of him. Scar! Impulse! No! Grian, wake up! Grian gasped, opening his eyes to find himself inside the sleepover room once again. His entire body was shaking as a figure hovered over him, resting a cool hand on his forehead. Haley? Grian muttered, looking past her, taking in the room. Everyone was starting to stir, startled by his outcry. You okay, Grian? Jem asked, her brows furrowed. Did something happen? Did you feel anything? Kate asked, eyes wide. Hush, it was just a nightmare, Haley said. Go back to sleep. Sorry for that. I should be the one apologizing, Grian admitted weakly, sitting up in bed. I didn't even think to try the techniques Impulse taught me. Hey, it's okay, Haley said. No one's perfect. We'll just try again next time. Oh, Grian admitted, closing his eyes, reliving the terrifying horrors of the nightmare. Scar's terrified face, hearing Impulse's desperate plea, the pain of poison coursing through Grian's veins. Something about that felt different. I think Impulse and I were pulled into Scar's nightmare. What? Haley frowned, kneeling to Grian's level. How is that possible? I'm not sure, but I know we did try to reach him the night before. He called out to us to help him. He was so scared. Grian took a deep breath, trying again. It's like how Scar got dragged into my nightmare when he tried to help me through it. The shadow was his fear, represented by the man tormenting him. He was manipulating Scar's nightmare, if not even worse. He's torturing him right now. You feel anything? Haley raised an eyebrow curiously. Fear. Lots of fear. Grian shook his head. Despair and pain. Kidnapper refuses to let him go. I don't know what he wants, what his aim is. But he's hurting him. Get him out of there, Haley said gently, pulling Grian into a hug as the hermit broke into tears. Liam and Impulse won't rest until those men pay for what they've done to him. Whatever they've done. I felt like you didn't have a choice, Grian whispered into the girl's ear, swallowing back a whimper, stating the last thing he remembered before waking up. You couldn't save us. You couldn't save him. We will save him. Haley pulled away, holding Grian steadily by the shoulders, her face determined. Scar knows we won't give up. We will get him back. You will make Campbell pay for whatever you did to him. I just want him back now, Grian sniffed, looking away from her gaze. I want him to be okay. It was just a dream. A really bad dream, she reassured the hermit. Sometimes they can get the best of us when we least expect it. But it felt so real. Impulse was there. He was being tormented by something too. Something that terrified Scar so much. It hurt him. There was nothing either of us could do to stop the fear from taking hold of him. Grian pushed the bed covers back, glancing over to his bedside table, seeing the communicator resting there. I need to talk to Impulse. There's no point trying to go back to sleep. I feel like it'll just drag me back into that horrible place all over again. Scar's repeating nightmare before. I'll be close in case you need me. Haley rose to her feet with a nod. And no running off to rescue Scar. Not even thinking about it, Grian mumbled, picking up the communicator. I don't even know how I'd get there without the help of the others. Besides, they just send me back here for my safety. They care about you, G. We all do, Haley said gently. I hate to see you struggling right now, but I'm here if you need someone to talk to. I want to help. I know. Grian got out of bed, heading toward the main room, clutching the communicator close to himself. Running off to find him won't get him back here faster. I know that. The least I can do is tell Impulse about my dream. Maybe he can help make some sense of it. And if he can't, Haley asked, following the hermit into the main room. I'll figure it out. Somehow. Grian sighed. Without putting my neck on the line, of course. It'd be easier on Scar to know everyone is safe. Not just me. Oh, I'm here to make sure you don't make any rash choices, she replied with a knowing smile. Hermit returned the smile weakly, putting in some coordinates and pressing the button as the signal went through. Grian, why are you calling me in the middle of the night? Impulse said drowsily. You're awake, aren't you? Grian chuckled. Sorry for the quick notice, but I wanted to see how things were going on. How are you feeling? A little shaken, honestly, Impulse muttered. I had a pretty bad nightmare. Did it have anything to do with Sky being trapped in some sort of container? Grian asked quickly. I was trapped in a room, the same room where Impulse's voice caught on the words as he took a shaky breath. I watched my best friend die in my arms over and over again. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't save him. Oh, Grian gasped, his eyes widened in horror. Horrible. No? Impulse added quietly. You were in a dream too. I was trapped in a glass cylinder being slowly poisoned, forced to watch as a shadowy figure crept closer to Scar. It told him that no one was going to help him, that no one would save him. Grian hated how small his voice sounded when he said those words. He was wrong. We will save him, Impulse snapped, matter-of-factly. So we both had the same dream then. Grian pressed. Impulse sighed. Seems like it. I'm not sure how that happened, though. Maybe Scar's subconsciously pulled us through as a coping mechanism? Using us as torture tools? Grian gulped, unsure about his question. Or the kid never had a part in it, wanting to punish us for trying to fight him, deciding to use us as a way to scare Scar. To break him. Impulse stumbled. Trust me, Grian. When I say that, we'll find him. And when we do, bring him home. I do trust you, Impulse, Grian said calmly. But do you trust yourself? I have to, Impulse said confidently. The fate of the universe is at stake here. Grian frowned, looking over at Haley nervously. I've already said too much, Impulse groaned. Forget I said anything. I'll stop this from getting messy any way I can. I'm not letting anything come between me and my friend. Our friend. Rose made the right choice, you know. Grian encouraged the older hermit. I know you can do it. It's partly why I haven't gone after you. Been getting things ready for when you guys come home. I'll see you soon, Impulse promised. Stay safe, G. I will if you will, Grian insisted. Impulse chuckled as the call ended. Grian stared down at the communicator in his hand for a moment, unsure of what to do next. Think you're up to try to get some more sleep? Haley asked. Or do you think Jelly might like a late night snack? I don't know, Grian sighed, pocketing the communicator. What does one do when waiting for answers? I'm not used to just standing around and doing nothing. Well, the roof is down if you want some fresh air, Haley offered, with a small smile. Grian shook his head. I'm staying away from open skies for a while, especially after that attack. I don't want to risk having one of those assassins come down and snatch me into the sky with their wings. Haley put a hand on the hermit's shoulder. Go after you if they did. Gotten pretty good at flying. Grian smiled. Thanks, Haley. Liam's counting on us to keep you safe. She returned the smile. I'm not going to let him down. Or you down, for that matter. Grian nodded solemnly. I guess late night jelly snacks it is, then. Again. More nightmares? She asked curiously as Grian approached the kitchen. Sort of, Grian pondered thoughtfully, shaking his head. Saw a glimpse into Scar's nightmare. Was it fun? And then you got dragged into one, Haley said. Sure like a day. or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, Grian smirked, opening one of the cupboards, taking out a few slices of fish. He put Scar into a living nightmare, a nightmare he couldn't escape, an image of his greatest fear. Family is everything, Haley replied brightly, nudging Grian playfully. The hermit closed the cupboard. I agree, family is everything. We're together until the end. I can imagine Caden watching us now, proud of us for how far we've gotten. She said lightly, meeting the hermit's gaze. At least he didn't suffer for long, Grian whispered. I've learned a lot from him. He was a great friend and mentor, Haley said, looking out the kitchen window. Did you know he used to teach a class at the school before he took on protecting you? No, I didn't, Grian shook his head. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. You shouldn't, Haley giggled. He helped me learn how to fight, to defend myself and others. He was patient with me, kind, like my dad used to be before. I'm sure you missed him, Grian said. Your family, friends, lost so much, and gained a new family. The best thing that could happen to a girl like me. I'm glad you're here. We all are. We need all the help we can get if things turn out for the worst. I'll be here, she saluted. Grian laughed, reaching the elevator first, as the two of them took the ascent to the second floor, carrying Jilly's snacks in one hand, not feeling even the trickle nervousness or fear. He was safe with Haley. He knew he could trust her, just as he could with all the people here. There was no need to be afraid. He had friends by his side. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Whatever that might be. Goodbye. Well, technically it would be next week, but, I mean,